Wait. For this comparative study, I will be analyzing science fiction films, specifically 1982's Tron and 1999's The Matrix. My topic is the representation of identity in sci-fi films through mise-en-scène, cinematography, and editing. Tim Dirks once said that science fiction often expresses the potential of technology to destroy humankind through Armageddon-like events. Both Tron and The Matrix represent the idea of man versus machine, similarly to Dirk's quote about the potential of technology being a potential threat to mankind. Science fiction, or sci-fi, is a genre of films that often incorporates imaginative, futuristic, fanciful, or extremely unlikely scenarios, such as most commonly, technology will destroy the world. They can sometimes be an offshoot of fantasy, superhero, action, adventure, and even horror, such as 28 Days Later or Aliens movie franchise. Science fiction has existed supposedly for over 900 years, or at least some claim that the earliest form was a novel created in the 2nd century titled A True Story by Lucian. However, some also claim that the true first media to be considered sci-fi was 1818's Frankenstein. My first film is 1999's The Matrix, and my second film is 1982's Tron, which are both sci-fi action films that follow two protagonists who are up against machines. Both films express the theme man versus machine. They share a computerized set. However, The Matrix takes place in a dystopian future where machines use man as batteries, while Tron takes place in modern day, where a computer engineer was transported into the video game he was attempting to hack. The common theme that both films share are man versus machine, identity, and man versus self. The common specific film elements will be lighting, color palette, sound, costume, makeup, and framing. Let's study the beginning of the films. For our first 4 scenes from the beginning incorporate more cooler tones, such as blue, and have aesthetic of neon. For scene 1, the director incorporates a low angle of our main protagonist Kevin Flynn as he is being transported to the grid. Scene 2 here, the director films an up-close shot of Kevin Flynn, who has been imprisoned and transported. The set design changed from scene 1 to 2, changing from our world into the world of the grid, consisting of neon and more muted colors. Scene 3, we have Ed Dillinger and the Master Control Program. We have an over-shoulder shot of Ed discussing the matters with the Master Control Program. Scene 4, once more, we have a lower shot of Ram and Flynn. It is intended to show that these two men are the power to save the grid from the Master Control Program. For our second film, The Matrix, we have an extreme close-up of our protagonist Neo, who is waking up in front of his computer screen. It is a shot like this to hint his imprisonment within the Matrix for scene 1. The next scene, we have a medium close-up of Neo, who is being contacted by Morpheus to escape the office building. Scene 3, we have a low over-the-shoulder angle of Neo to show the tension of the interrogation from Smith, who has apprehended Neo. Scene 4, we have an extreme close-up of Morpheus' glasses reflecting Neo's and Morpheus' hands. one holding the red pill and the other holding the blue. It was done on purpose to show Neo's two paths to choose. The red pill path, discover the truth, or the blue pill, forget everything. Cultural context. While both Tron and The Matrix do embody the idea of man versus machine, Tron's lighting incorporates cooler colors such as blue and has polygons that relate more so to the arcades rather than computers themselves. The Matrix, on the other hand, incorporates the color green to represent the more monochrome computers, which typically have a P1 phosphor, which typically display the color green more often than not. Next up is the climax of the films, where the events are desperate and are at heightened times. For scene 1 of the climax, we have a long shot of Flynn, who's attempting to nurse Ram back to health. The set and the character's armor simulate neon as a futuristic aesthetic, which is more common during the 1980s since blue is normally an unnatural color and is more man-made. Scene 2, we have a long shot of the headquarters in Center City, and we have the red character who's likely controlling the characters wearing the blue armor who are slaves. Scene 3, Flynn is infiltrating Center City as he controls the ship. Once again, incorporates the colors of blue and neon colors to show the sense of advanced technology. Scene 4, this is a shot at extreme wide view, revealing the entrance to Center City. Scene 1 of The Matrix, we have a close-up of Neo who is hooked up to the machinery getting transported into his digital conscience. It is also important to note that scenes different from the various ones, such as the color scheme. Scene 1 of the film has much cooler and more natural coloring than the usually green hue throughout the film. Scene 2, we have a wide view of Morpheus and Neo in an empty white room. The whiteness of the room implies that everything in the Matrix isn't really there and nothing more than a projected image into the people's heads created by the machines. It reveals that the Matrix is really nothing more than a prison to the senses. Scene 3, there's an over-shoulder shot of Morpheus as he's walking along the city. Scene 4, in the last scene, Neo is consulting the Oracle, who tells him that he or Morpheus will die. We have a slight high angle and over-shoulder shot. Cultural context 2. Tron was one of the first computer movies. It was a groundbreaking idea since no one had made a film about people being transported into the video games, for instance. Although it may have been inspirational to the nerds, it was a box office disappointment. After all, it had rather basic camera shots that otherwise weren't considered revolutionary, and it didn't hit well with the other audience. It did hint, however, to the eventual online gaming, since in the movie there are various users who are entered into the Tronverse, like a video game. The Matrix, however, was one of the biggest sci-fis around. In fact, The Matrix was the 5th highest grossing film of 1999. It was also the 4th highest grossing film in 1999 for a good reason. For instance, The Matrix had created the bullet effect in some of the most dynamic scenes of all time. The Matrix helped combine the online world and pop culture together. Although we may not be physically able to transcend into video games, some of us have given our time to video games. In fact, the world gaming has become a profession since especially through esports, to the point that players spend as much as 24 to 25 hours per week to train for these competitions. Now to conclude both films. My third and final point in comparison is the resolution of the films. Scene 1 of Tron, we have, towards the conclusion of the film, Ed Dillinger's battle with Tron is done in a wide shot. He uses a lot of reds and also muted colors on set. Scene 2, we have a close-up of over the shoulder of Ed in Master Control Program. Scene 3, this scene is a combination of over the shoulder and close-up that has an intimate, heroic feel because Flynn's farewell to Yori and makes his sacrifice. Scene 4, we have a finale where Flynn finally succeeds and takes over Incom, as he rightfully should, done in a wide shot. Scene 1 is a low-angle close-up of Neo and Trinity striding towards the face of danger. It shows their power advantage over the guards as the shot causes them to look much bigger and therefore taking the scene. Scene 2, we have a high angle on the first-person view. We see through the eyes of the agents, aka the machines in the Matrix. Scene 3, we have an up-close of Neo stopping the bullets as they near towards him. Our eyes focus on Neo as he's in the middle of the screen. C4, we have a close-up of him as he wears sunglasses to finally show the audience he is no longer of the ignorant. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.